Welcome to Breaking Solo, how solopreneurs break barriers, build brands, and embrace the future of business.
Good afternoon, everyone. I so appreciate you being here today, and I'm really excited for our next guest, Brooke. Will you introduce yourself to the audience?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much, Donna. My name is Brooke, and I help in regards when businesses are kind of feeling stuck in the daily grind. They want to continue to make impact and build their momentum and maximize their profit, and they kind of get stuck in that. And so we come in and we offer a suite of consulting, marketing, and sales coaching and strategic planning to be able to help do that.
Awesome. That's something that we all need at some time in our career.
100%. Yeah, it's just really easy to get stuck in the daily grind.
Yes, it is. Okay, so share with us, did you always know you were going to be a solopreneur, or did you pivot from something else?
No, I did not always know. I never actually thought of that until it actually started happening. So I was in corporate sales for a good little bit and loved doing that, loved what I did, loved helping people, but the life balance was not where we wanted it to be. And so we went on a life plan out in Colorado through Patterson. That's who my husband got certified with his strat ops. And that's where we started like building the dream of being able to do that.
That's awesome. So you and your husband work together?
We do, yes. And I like it.
Well, that's good.
I don't know if he does all the time, but I really think it's fantastic.
Well, I'm sure he does as well. Okay, so what's been your biggest challenge in your solopreneur journey, and how did you overcome it?
Our biggest challenge actually happened. I became certified as a story brand guide. And so we started kind of working through that. And I landed a client that covered everything in regards to all of my corporate salary, our insurance, everything that we needed for over a year. And so we thought, okay, this is it. We're going to go. But about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks later, my daughter got really sick. And so then we ended up in the ER. And so I basically started our business in the ER. And then she's continued to have different health struggles. Since then, that was like the starting point. We had absolutely no idea any of that was happening at that point. And so then I had to start figuring out, how am I going to grow a business when I am constantly going back and forth to doctor's appointments and ER visits and all of those things, because everything just pretty much turned upside down. It was an amazing time because had I been in my corporate job, I would have gone insane because I would want to be with my daughter, but I would need to be at work as well. And it would have been really, really difficult. So for me to get taken out of that and starting in our job was an amazing time. But it was also like I had to learn how to build business out of just mass chaos. So I had to start figuring out things that would work quickly and effectively so we could keep going, because I didn't have all the time in the world to be able to build it at that point.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, it was. But my faith is really important to me, and I know that there was a lot of we had a lot of support from our church family and all of that. But yeah, it was a really difficult time, and so we learned a lot of things kind of on the fly, and just realizing like we need to try something. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then we're going to pivot and we're going to keep going. But we had to just keep figuring things out. So a lot of the systems that I have put in place were built from that.
Well, girl, you are definitely a strong one, because that's a lot to get through.
Not to mention my husband's a pastor and we own our own business and all the things. But it's good.
Oh my. Well, good for you though. So do you have a specific niche that you focus on?
I do. I do. So I have actually a master's in counseling, and so that makes a lot of impact in regards to how I coach. But my biggest passion is being able to help those who are in B2B businesses and really having those sales conversations that they're needing to take place. And so we've created frameworks to be able to help them in that. And so that is my favorite thing to do, coming in and helping people know where are they struggling in their sales, and specifically in regards to how they're approaching sales, how their sales conversations are moving forward, their intentional follow-up. That's what I do. And it's in that B2B space where it's like the service industry. So if you have to have conversations with people, if you're going to be working with them on a regular basis, that's where I come in and help.
Is there certain sizes that you focus on?
Usually like the mid-size is a good range. I have different like different products for those. So I have like my sales accelerator lab, and that's at $9.97, and that's for 4 weeks. And so pretty much anyone can be able to do that if they want to do that. And then it goes up from there. So then there are sometimes when people are saying, I don't need help with sales, but I have no idea how to train my team in regards to how to do sales. And so then I come in and help them.
Awesome. Good for you. That's really pretty powerful to be able to do that.
I think the other thing is, and I know there might be questions because this usually happens in regards to like, are there things that you would change or something like that? But for us, I felt like we almost started our business backwards, where we landed the huge clients first, and then we were trying to figure out where is our like pipeline and how do we keep this moving forward. And so that's how things got set up in regards to like the sales accelerator lab, and then one-on-one coaching if people want it, and then training teams, because it gives people an opportunity to kind of be able to get the support that they need where they need it. And that's what I really enjoy doing.
That's great. So, do you see any shifts happening that could change the way solopreneurs work in the future?
I do. I think, I know AI is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I am not opposed to it. We utilize AI a lot because you can really get it to feel like who your voice is and your thoughts and your humor and all of that. And so I love being able to use that. And I think as a solo entrepreneur, being able to start utilizing those automations is something that is going to be really helpful, because you're going to have things that are going to go out to market a lot faster. And you want to be able to keep up with that. But so I think that's part of it. But I also think I connect AI to the movie that was Hidden Figures. I don't know if you remember that, but like they had this big, huge, it was all about getting people to the moon. And they had this big, huge computer that took up the whole entire room, and everybody was nervous. And they're like, well, we can't let this like take everybody's job. But the reality was, just because it was there, it didn't mean that people knew how to use it or how to operate it. And I feel like that's AI at this point. Like it's this massive thing. Everybody says it's doing all these amazing things, but you need to know how to be able to use it effectively. And I think that can be something, even in regards to calendar automations, things that you're sending out, like if people are wanting to set up appointments with you, just learning how can I utilize it to help me in my growing my business, because I think it's a big shift.
Yeah, that's very cool. You know, I have my phone answer is actually AI for the business. And so she answers it, she takes down their information and emails it to me, and it has cut down on so many spam calls.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, those are things that you can utilize that help. And especially as people are doing this solo, they're going to need some of that support to be able to do. Yeah, so absolutely. I also think you have two shifts that are happening. I think you have AI that's coming in, and it's a big deal. It's not going anywhere. And then I think you also have this shift of where people are like, but I just really want to have that authenticity, and I want to be able to talk to someone. And so I think you have both, and I think you need to learn how to use both of them, especially if you're going to have higher ticket items that you're selling. You're going to need to be able to know how to talk to people and be able to move that forward. And AI is not going to be able to do all of that.
Right.
Yet. I'm not naive to think that it's probably coming at some point, but as of today, and if you can afford it, this is what it is.
I wouldn't mind AI making my sales calls for me.
I know.
Just get the appointment and then I'll talk to them.
There you go. And that very moment, that is happening in places.
Yeah, it is. So, what's one tool, app, or resource that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
Is it okay if I created it, or do you need to know the other one?
Of course.
So in one that I didn't create, so not to be a bias, like especially for who I coach and helping people, you need to have some sort of CRM, because if you're trying to keep track of everybody, Post-it notes and Excel sheets are not going to get you where you want to be able to go, and it's not going to serve you as well as it could. So some sort of CRM. I use Keep, and that has been very helpful to be able to help me with that. And when I say a CRM, I'm not assuming necessarily everybody knows exactly what that means, but like that is where you're going to house the people that you're talking to, and it's setting up things for you in regards to this is when you're following up with them. This is how the proposals are going out. Like it's all put together in there. So that's one that I use. ChatGPT is a huge one that we use on a regular basis because we've built it to be our business and our voice. And so now I really enjoy talking to it. I kind of feel like Iron Man when he's out there building all this stuff and he's having a conversation. It's fun. I really enjoy it, even though it's a computer. And then the other thing is I created a service framework. And so that is what we use and what I work with my clients in regards to having those sales conversations. And it's an acronym of service to just keep people on track and making sure that they're not talking all the time, they're not winging it, they're able to bring the value that they need to, and being able to move things forward so they just don't get stuck up in follow-up land. So that's one tool that I use every day. So anytime I'm having a sales conversation, my service framework is out and we're figuring out what to say on that call.
And that's a framework that you teach to your clients as well?
Yeah, yep. That's what we teach in the 4-week accelerator. That's what we teach one-on-one. That's what I've taught universities in regards to improving their enrollment. It's what we created.
Wow, good for you. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So, do you have any books or courses or mentors that have had a big impact on your success?
So for books, I am not as much of a reader as I used to be. I got my master's in counseling, and I feel like that kind of burned me out for books for about 10 years. But now we're getting into Audible, and so that's fantastic. I really do enjoy Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand. I've enjoyed reading that, Marketing Made Simple, in regards to those types of things, because that's a big part of when you're a solo entrepreneur. There's one thing in regards to being able to know what you're selling. You need to have those products figured out, but then actually learning the marketing piece behind that in a way that's going to resonate with your audience is really helpful. I would say those, and then as I shared, my faith is really important to me, so I read the Bible every day. That's a big one, so you don't get through that very quickly. But yeah, that would be where I was at. My husband would be the big reader. He's actually finishing his doctorate right now, and so he's reading all sorts of stuff. But those would be the ones. And then parenting books. Because you're always trying to figure out how do you do all of this in regards to growing your business and being a mom and all of that. So there are different parenting books I like too.
Children little or preteens or teens?
All actually across the board. So my youngest is 4, my oldest is 14, and my middle one is 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They definitely keep us busy.
Yes, and they will continue to.
Yes, yeah. No matter what age.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, you just mentioned one daily habit or routines that you focus on that help you stay focused and productive. Do you have any others that?
I do. I actually created something called the Daily Five, and it's the daily 5 sales activities that you're wanting to do every day. So the first one is making sure I respond to leads within 2 hours. The second one is I'm not going to be winging it. That's why I use my service framework. The third one is that there's intentional follow-up. So a lot of times what happens is we might say, okay, I'm going to give you a call next week and see if you have any questions about the proposal I sent. I would argue that's not a great way to be able to do your follow-up. And so intentional follow-up, having that set up, and then doing like business networking in regards to who do you want to be meeting, who do you want to be talking to, who do you want in your corner, not necessarily in regards to so you can sell them what you're offering, but that you can just continue to build your network and have the people in your corner that you want. And so I feel it's really important to be doing that on a daily basis as well.
Awesome. So do you have a piece of advice that you'd give someone that's just starting out on their solopreneur journey?
Yes, I have 2. One is just know who you are and act like it. If you don't do that, it just gets really fuzzy. And then you start wondering, well, is this worth it? Or should I be doing this? Or are they going to pay this much? Whatever it is, like just know who you are, stand in it, and act like it all the way through across every board, like in regards to your social, in regards to emails if you have going out, your marketing, your sales conversations, all of it. Just act like it. And then the other piece is make sure, first of all, you have your products and you know them well, and that you're able to clearly say, okay, this is what we're offering. Because if you're confused, then everybody else is going to be confused and your sales are really going to be affected by that. So first of all, know that. But then 2, have quite a few different streams coming in regards to both your income and then also your marketing method. If you just focus on one area, that's a little bit hard. And so just start figuring out, what is it that my intended audience is needing and how can I be able to show up for that? And so whether that's webinars or whether that's wanting to do LinkedIn Lives or whether that's going to the chamber, whatever it is, have multiple avenues where you're able to talk about your business and what you're selling, because you are thinking about your business all the time. You wake up, you think about it, you go to sleep, you think about it all the time. Nobody else is. And so
Darn those people.
and I remember I remember very clearly the day when I realized, dang it. I can't just hope leads come and I can sell. Like, I have to go and let people know what's going on. However you're going to do that. If you want to do paid ads, if you want to do it organically, I'm not telling you how to do it. I am just telling you, you need to be doing that because you have to be in people's minds. You have to be in front of them, or it's just, it's not going to work.
They forget about us.
100%, 100%. And then you're like in that feast or famine and like, yay, it's been a great month, but oh, no, it hasn't. Like, you want a consistent pipeline of leads. That'll make your life a lot easier.
Yes, it will. You know, when I first started coaching, and that was in 2002, and my clients were all mostly solopreneurs, and when they would get business, they did their marketing, they got business, then they stopped doing their marketing.
Yeah, yes.
Because they, you can't focus on everything.
And your marketing isn't beckoning you. Like, your clients are saying, hey, I need this. And you have deadlines and you're doing that. But for you, yourself, for your business, your marketing, you are the one that's advocating for it. And you're the one that's saying this needs to get done. And it's so easy to get it pushed behind.
Yeah, so easy. Yeah. I mean, that's how my agency got started, as I started saying to clients, just let me do that for you.
Exactly. 100%. Let's make this easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could go back and do one thing differently in your business, what would it be?
That would go back to when I said I felt like we kind of started our business backwards, like we landed really big clients and then we were trying to figure out how to build that through, it would be that. It would really be sitting down and saying, okay, what is our product ladder? What are the steps to this? And now how are we going to let people know about it? That's what I would do differently from day one instead of a little bit later.
So explain to the audience what a product ladder is.
Sure. For me, when I'm explaining a product ladder, is you're looking at the things that you're going to be able to offer your clients. And you're doing it in a way that they're walking up to get to where you're wanting to be able to help them. So just as an example, people don't usually go from zero to thousands of dollars in one shot. They don't. There's usually conversations happening and trust is needing to be built, especially if you're in marketing or sales, because we're like about the 5% of the population trusts us. So like we already have barriers, thank you, that we're trying to do. So you start to say, okay, what can I do to help build trust and actually solve a problem for the potential client that I'm wanting to work with? And that's how you start. So that can start in regards with a lead generator where it's something free that you're offering them and it's helping them solve a problem. Or it can start in regards to what we talk about, like your foot in the door offer, where people are, if they can pay for that, there's a pretty good chance they could continue to work with you. So for us, our Sales Accelerator Lab is 4 weeks. And so it's $997. It's a small group and they can do that. From there, then they can decide, okay, do they want to be able to work with me one-on-one on a weekly basis? Do they want to join my group coaching one-on-one? What would they like to do? That's an option. Or it can then go to, no, you know what? Now I want you to be training my team, or now I want you to be talking to other clients that I'm talking to help them in selling. That's how our product ladder is set up from the sales coaching side. So for those who are figuring it out, you're truly thinking, what is the problem that they're solving and how can I start building trust and helping solve their problem in a smaller way to continue to build that trust where it continues to grow. And the beautiful thing is not everybody who does the Sales Accelerator Lab is going to have me train their team. And that's not the way it's built. It's just to give you the security as a business owner that you have multiple streams of income. Because if you're just trying to sell one thing, that can be a little hard. And so you want to help people to ease into that naturally. So that's your product ladder when you're just looking. And a lot of times 3 is good. Like you don't want it to be overwhelming. And so, okay, what's one thing that I could say, yes, if they can do this, they can probably continue to work with me. And then where's that middle one? And then where's that premium one? That's how you would set it up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't think everybody knows what a product ladder is,
Yeah.
especially if they're just starting out.
Well, that's it. That's why I wish I would have.
Oh yeah,
That's where we're going back. Yeah. And so that's one thing that we talk about in our Sales Accelerator Lab. We look at their product, like we talk about how can we create the product ladder, and then we start talking about how are we able to talk about that in an effective way when they're having those sales conversations. But that is really what I wish I would have done at the very beginning, because if you don't have a clear direction of what you're selling,
yeah,
everybody's going to be confused.
yeah. It's hard to have a conversation with somebody if you don't know what you're offering.
Yeah. And so many people are sometimes surprised by that, because they'll say, like, we had a great conversation, but when you actually dig into that a little bit more and you're like, okay, well, what were you offering? What was the investment? They're like, oh no, we didn't talk about that. Like, well, then there's no way they're going to be buying. Nobody just gives money. And so then it's like, oh, okay. And the more you do it, that's the other piece I would say. And then just go out there, like, do it. Tell people. The worst thing is they're going to tell you no. Okay, great. Either you're not my ideal client, or there's probably something that could be a little bit easier, or I could make it less confusing, whatever the case is. But like, build it and then go out there, because they're not just going to come.
Right.
Or hire someone like Donna to do that for you. But no matter what it is, build it and then make sure it gets out there, because if it doesn't get out there, whether you do it or you hire someone to do it, it's not going to take off.
Exactly. So do you have any exciting projects coming up?
I do, Donna. So we already talked about the Sales Accelerator Lab. That happens every month. And so I love that. That's one of my favorite things to be able to do. People can hop on our website and be able to sign up for that at any point. But I have found out that sometimes when people are looking for help in sales, it's like this sales incognito. Because for whatever reason, especially as business owners, people feel like they should just know how to do sales. They should know those processes. And then they feel awkward or ashamed being able to ask for help because they're literally going and telling other people they're going to make them money. And just because they're really skilled at what they do, it doesn't mean they're necessarily skilled or have learned how to be able to have effective sales conversations and to move that process forward. So just today, I have started sipping matchas and making sales. And so people can submit their questions anonymously, and then I'm just going to answer them via video. No one has to say anything. No one has to know you're asking the questions. And so I'm excited about that because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have questions, but they just you can't go on LinkedIn and be like, just wondering, how are you supposed to close a sale without coming across as pushy? Nobody, you don't want to do that because you've got other people that are watching and whatnot. So we're just starting Sales Help Incognito.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay. Tell the audience where they can connect with you and learn more about what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you can find Brooke Greening and it's on LinkedIn. Our website is buildingmomentum.info. And if, as we've been talking, if you're trying to think, you know what, I actually have questions about how my sales conversations go and things like that, I do have a free sales conversation assessment that we've created for you to be able to take and just kind of see where you're at. What are you doing well? Where are some things that you can improve? And so that's buildingmomentum.info/assessment. And they can grab that. And it's free.
Awesome. And all of that information will be in the show notes.
Perfect.
All right. Brooke, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on today. It's been fun.
Thank you, Donna. I really appreciate it. It's exciting to be a part of your podcast.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. See you next week.